Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Code X podcast. As usual, I'm your host, Sonny Kruger. Joining me today are my co-hosts, Jamie Wojcik and Tim Morse.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
What's up, everybody?
Today, we are reviewing the Punisher Jigsaw Puzzle. You may be wondering, why is this episode called Crack Makes You Stupid? You may be wondering because somebody was fired from Marvel, but it doesn't go with that. It is on a line from the story we will be reviewing today. So that's why we call this one Crack Makes You Stupid.
It's like saying, oh, pizza makes you fat, but here's a hot dog. Like, what?
Yeah. I won't mind a hot dog or pizza.
Yeah.
Food. Okay, we were talking about food last week a lot, yeah. And
Yes.
when Dan was eating ice cream on air, and
Literally, I watched the episode, and he's just like,
He
I was
loved
like,
his
dude,
ice
you
cream
had an
sandwich.
sandwich right now?
he was, but yeah, last week was a good one. Last week we did review Evil Ernie versus the Superheroes.
Mhm.
One thing I did forget to mention when I was talking about how I really enjoyed it was, we were talking about how we all got things going on, and when I read it, I happened to read it at like the perfect time for me. Is that I was like, I needed something that was a bit funny and kind of brought me out of what was going on. So I was happy to read it. So that was one thing with Evil Ernie that helped push that rating up a bit. Was
Nice.
I needed it. It came to me at the perfect time. But we'll get to reviewing more stuff later, like you said, when we're reviewing the Punisher Jigsaw Puzzle.
Mhm.
So we've got a lot of comic book news. We've got some rumors. Dan was hungry last week. He put that in the comments. That's why he was eating during that little break before. It was during the little countdown before from pre-show to actual show. He suddenly had ice cream in his hand.
You ever watch him in between both? It's hilarious. It's like watching ADD work at its finest.
As soon as we go to the countdown, he moves. And
Yeah,
then
he
comes
disappears, or he comes back, or he's just comes back with a
different.
beer, or he comes back with more food, and I'm like,
Food, different outfit.
back. I think my
we've done
favorite is
that before.
when he came back with the coat.
So there you go, Dan. But also too, we've got a lot of our works. We've all been up to some things, especially here at Codex. We have a random panel of the week, and we were talking about earlier. Tim was asking me, "Sonny, how does it make you giggle?" And I said, "Hee." And
That's not how you did it.
No.
I don't know how to giggle, so I just have to put a fake giggle on. But yeah, so the random panel of the week deals with Superman tying a certain somebody up in the F list. Happens to go with St. Patrick's Day, since St. Patty's Day is coming up this weekend, and then we'll get to that review. So
All
we'll start
right.
things off with comic book news. I'll get started off with the rundown. So the biggest news this week is that Marvel Studios has fired Beau DeMayo, the creator of X-Men 97. And there's a bit of rumors going on that people are saying that it's because he has an OnlyFans. And then
I doubt that.
Today, Marvel tried to take people away from talking about that, and they released actually
The
X-Men
runtimes.
video talking about the animation. So of course that got me excited too, and I saw Nightcrawler in the Sentinels runner. So I was glad to see Nightcrawler, especially since in the 90s series, I love Nightcrawler, I love the 90s series, but he was only in a couple episodes, so it was nice to see that he will be in X-Men 97. But Marvel didn't just fire Beau DeMayo. We hear that Marvel is canceling the new Punisher series, the one with Joe Garrison that was written by David Papos. So I heard that we were saying that we heard they were saying it was because of low sales, that after 4 issues.
I wonder why.
Yeah, nope. Sorry to Joe Garrison as the Punisher. But in other news, we heard about Red Sonja. Her movie's getting updated. There's an update on her movie. There was the original one back in 1985. And now the actress who will be playing Red Sonja, Matilda Lutz, has said that it's very women empowered. And that is set to come out this year in 2024. So it was good to see an update on the new Red Sonja movie. I had forgotten. I don't even know if I knew. I was like, wait, there's a Red Sonja movie about to come out. But
I think everybody was like that.
Yeah.
So here's everyone's reminder. Red Sonja is having a new movie. Matilda Lutz is going to play her, and it's going to be very women empowered. So taking going a little bit away from the way it was, where it was more just like, oh, look at this good looking woman. Look at the outfits.
So I think we can expect her not to be in the chainmail bikini then.
Yeah. But we can still think about it. I mean, it might still happen, For right now, it's still up in the air.
If you believe, good things will come.
I'm
Literally.
believing every day.
And James Gunn had some updates on Peacemaker Season 2 and Waller. He was saying that Peacemaker Season 2 and Superman are still scheduled for to start filming in the summer, and that Waller will not. That Waller had a little bit of delays because of the writer's strike and the actor's strike, so that's why there's a bit of delays on them. But that Waller will come. The season of Waller will come out after Season 2 of Peacemaker. And last week we had a bit of a rumor about Elizabeth Debicki. People were saying Elizabeth Debicki might be playing Wonder Woman, and in less than 24 hours, James
That
Gunn
was shut
posted,
down.
"Nope, not going to happen. Don't know where that came from." So that rumor was debunked. And
I
there's a
love
little
how
bit
he's
of
on top of all that stuff.
yeah. So quickly, that's a good thing we mentioned it because it was within 24 hours. We got to mention it, and then he was able to say, "Nope, not going to happen."
I like that he does that. He's got to be in the director's chair and in the middle of the scene or whatever. Yeah, that's not true.
Yeah.
Years from
It's
now,
like
people
every
can come
time,
back
like
and
no
pick
matter
it
what it is, he's just like, "What are you guys talking about?"
Yeah.
Fake, not going to happen.
I heard from a reliable source that Sonny Kruger is going to play Hal Jordan. Yeah, that's not true, guys. Sorry.
Yeah.
We need to put that out there so that podcasts
No.
like ours, the
No.
podcasts like ours can mention it within like the 24 hours or like 10 hours to be mentioned. Some people will talk about it and James Gunn can stop it. And years from now, people will go back and say, wow, there was a time, there was a few hours where people were thinking of Sonny as Hal
There you
Jordan
go.
and Elizabeth Debicki as Wonder Woman. But some things there was winners were announced. We talked about Spawnery a while ago when Todd McFarlane was having people send in their artwork, and that certain winners were going to be their artwork was going to be on the actual covers of Spawn comic books. And our very own Dan Kelly, he entered the contest, and Dan, I applaud you because you went for it. You took a chance. You went for what you wanted, and the winners were announced. And the one thing that has a lot of people talking is that one of the winners, people are saying that they use AI for all of their artworks. People are not happy about that. I can't blame them for that.
Yeah.
And then Dan was put in our Codex chat saying that he saw that even when it was announced, somebody else, one of the other winners, it was announced, okay, this is their comic book is going to come out this time. And people were in the comments just talking about, what about that AI winner? What about the guy who uses AI? And that guy, he was in the comments, like, he was swearing at people. About
I don't use AI.
It's real artwork. And
Even on it, if you look at the page for the Spawnery thing, it says like how much percentage was AI and how much was human based, like actually drawn. It was 99% AI.
Holy smokes.
wow.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you don't use AI, sure.
Yeah,
God almighty.
that's disappointing to hear.
Well, I'll jump in with that then, because I have a kind of, I don't know, a different outlook on it, I guess, with the AI situation. The only way for me would to see it as like an acceptable feat is if you don't if you have some type of like handicap that takes away from you being able to draw. Like if you can still use your imagination and still get it out there, I am 100% for it. You know what I mean? If you have that creative outlook and you think you can't do it anymore and this is your way to do it, go for it. If you're just some Joe Schmo that can still, practice but chooses not to and doesn't want to put in time and effort and does it like that, then it's a problem for me.
See, I like the idea of it being a drawing assistant. I think that would be beneficial to a lot of people that don't have the ability to draw. I think that would be fantastic. But to just use it and type in commands and pull artwork from other people that have worked extremely hard on that stuff and to use their licensed material, or even if it's unlicensed and it's theirs, using that's ridiculous and it's wrong.
Like I said, if it came down to say for example, I didn't have hands, but I wanted to still draw or still come up with something, yeah, that's not going to happen. I mean, I could do that and draw just the same as I would with my hands, but
same here.
It's the fact of you still have an edge, but there should be a separate category for you.
Yeah.
Like, hey, if you want to do the AI based thing, go this route.
Dan says here, and the guy is cussing out people in the comments, asking him to show his work. Yeah, if you go on the defensive hard like that when people are asking you to show proof, that you actually drew it, well, you know.
I feel like I'm back in like 5th grade. Make sure you show your work. I know
Exactly.
the answer, but show your work. Show how you got there.
Keith here asks a very good question. What does 1% of an AI drawing look like?
That means the paper that it started on. So like the blank background on Photoshop.
Wow. 99% AI, 1%.
You hit the open tab, but the rest of it was.
That's the 1% right there.
Like you were saying, Jimmy, when you start to jump at the defensive, it kind of shows, you know.
Yeah.
Like when you guys are like, "Oh, Sonny, you got the ceiling of answers." I don't need to get mad because I know I have all the knowledge right there.
I knew there was going to be a way for him to come back and try to pull that, but
had to
we all
pull
know
it,
that's a lie, so it's okay.
And then when you mentioned that guy, I was like, okay, now's my time.
Yeah. Sonny just tries to make it about him.
He is the
It's the
Sunisher
actor in
after all, so
He is the Sunisher today.
It's the actor in me, you know. Me.
To have everything pre-planned.
I try. That's the director in me and the writer in me. I try to schedule it all out. Okay.
And make sure you know exactly what everyone's gonna say and do.
I try.
Have we dropped an F-bomb yet? I can throw you a curveball, Sonny.
No, that wouldn't be a curveball.
No?
I'd be prepared for it, Tim.
You just don't know when it's going to come.
Yeah.
Well, maybe one day I'll throw. One day I'd like to throw a F-bomb.
Sonny, I would love to hear that. Speaking of things that I thoroughly enjoy, though, Marvel canceling the Punisher series, I'm okay with that. Dan and I think Dan and I were talking about that. Like, what was the whole point of doing the series? Like, did Marvel sit there and think like, yes, this is what the fans want. This is exactly what they need. They're gonna love it. 4 issues in, and no.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, I gotta disagree with you guys though, because we've talked about it so many times in the past where it's like you change the character's sexuality or something else, and people are like, "We need change, but we don't want change." Yeah, you got your change. Didn't no one cared for the Aaron's run when it was still Frank there, and now you're gonna be upset because they changed the character, gave a new person the spotlight, and you're like, no, it's not Frank.
Well, I mean, Batman's a prime example of that in the 90s when John Paul Valley took over.
Yeah.
They wanted that type of Batman. And then when the fans got what they wanted, people were like, we don't want this. Well, you're stuck with it for the next 4 years.
Yeah. Why isn't Bruce Batman? Well, because you wanted to cry.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, and that's exactly what happened this time. And Marvel is the one company that I have noticed throughout the years is the quickest to drop a title without any care, consideration, and throw it into a trade format.
Yeah.
They're like, here, if you want to read the rest, here's a trade. All you're getting is the 4 issues. They made 6, but here's the 4.
Yeah.
And one thing too, that I think the people who wanted Frank changed, you know, because the comic book fans, most of us love Frank, and the people who are like, oh, we don't like Punisher, we don't like that symbol, were people who don't really read comics. So they wanted him changed, they got the change, but they don't read the comics. So they're like,
now, I'll be the first to admit I did not read that Punisher run, but from what I understand and through all the previous episodes of the podcast and After Dark that we've talked about it on, there was a genuine reason for the symbol change, right? Because he was the sword of the hand, basically, and possessed. And
that was the Aaron's run.
Yeah, exactly. And Dan, I think, said that it was a good run. Jamie, I think you said it was a good run too.
It was. It had a lot of potential, but people weren't liking it because of the changes that they made. So they went, okay, well, if you don't like Frank no more, here's this, and they went, awesome, cancel it.
And Dan did a review of that Punisher. The one,
the Aaron run, absolutely.
Check it out.
Yeah.
So it's just people want to basically sit there and say, we want new, and then you give them new, and they're like, what happened to the old when it was great?
Keith's got a good question that I have an answer for. What have they done to address the fact that Frank Castle has a birthday and specifically served in Vietnam? Wasn't he born in 1945? So
retcon.
Well, not only that, but we had a do you know question about that, Sonny. Do you remember?
Yeah.
The war, so
it's so because of the floating timeline, Marvel has taken the Korean War and the Vietnam War and turned it into, I can't remember the name of it, but
It was
it's
a hybrid war.
yeah, it's supposed to have happened like 10 to 15 years previous to the present day in the 616 universe. I can't even remember the episode that we had it on, but it's a do you know question that Sonny got wrong.
Yeah, it was when we did that Venom issue, the one with like
Yes.
Venom on, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But
So
no,
there you go.
and it's called a lot of retcon. It's called you can't keep Superman in the 1930s, like you can't keep like Punisher in 1945, like
Right. Yeah. Now, when Garth Ennis was doing the Max, he was that Vietnam veteran and stuff like that. So yeah, absolutely, Keith. No problem. That's what we're here for.
But yeah, real fast too. I do want to talk about because I want to switch sides for a second on this. There's two things because it kind of correlates to one another. So, Sonny, you were saying earlier how they threw off what was it, the X-Men '97 creator?
Oh yeah.
They were trying to show like animation and everything. They also released the runtime for the first 3 episodes. Okay.
Okay.
And all 3 of them are over 30 minutes
That's awesome.
for the first 3
Yeah.
episodes. And
Awesome,
it's like, but it's like a variation. It's like 30 minutes and 33 seconds, 30 minutes and like 45 seconds, and 30 minutes and 32 seconds. So we know that it's going to be exactly 30 minutes an episode.
Commercial
Nice.
free.
More X-Men time for me. So good. I'm happy to hear it. I'm going through all the episodes again. Last night I was watching quite a few. I finished One Man's Worth. Still two of my favorite episodes. So
There you go.
I want to watch the whole thing before next week. So that next week when we jump on, I'm like, I watched it.
So, from my understanding, Beau DeMayo was the showrunner for X-Men '97. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay,
And he worked on Moon Knight and Blade.
Right. He also wrote an episode for The Witcher 2, if I remember right. So, from my understanding, he was the showrunner, an episode writer, did a majority of the episodes for the first season, did some episodes for the second season, and was slated to do episodes for a third season. With Marvel Studios dropping him like a heavy boulder so quick, so fast, and him deleting his social media accounts, do you think that his firing will have any effect on the show whatsoever?
I was a bit nervous about that, but
I don't think it's going to change the outlook of what they have planned, like the structure overall. I think it's going to change the course of the direction of the storytelling, though, from this season to the next, because one person's vision isn't the same as the next.
Right.
You know, that one person could be like, I don't know, like Sale and not that great and be like Cyclops. And other people could be like me and be like, make it better.
Well, here's another thing to consider. I was talking to somebody.
Or they put Beast in the Avengers. Like,
because Beast wasn't a member of the Avengers, if anybody's wondering.
Because he was a member of the Avengers for a very, very long time, Sal.
But here's another point to consider. I was talking to somebody not too long ago about this, that Marvel is in the process, could be right, could be wrong, in the process of doing a turnaround and leaving the telling a message or sending a message type storylines to going back to entertainment. Do you think that his firing is part of that?
No.
I
don't think that's the problem. Okay, we'll get into this since it's part of it. I get side tangent here. I feel like it's the process right now of people's ideas. What's going on, Big Marv? It's people's visions that aren't correlating with the overall picture of the MCU and Disney. And the way it's fallen over, let's just say the last 5, I would say ever since Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Okay.
Yeah, I can see that.
From that point on, everything's been not a bust, but not living up to expectation. There's burnout. There's many problems behind the scenes with everything that's going on. People want to drop out of their contracts. People want to re-up their contracts, but want to change the direction and be part of the directing team or part of the storytelling team. There's no legitimacy behind it anymore. So to me, what they're doing is they're putting out the X-Men 97s. They're running with the Thunderbolts. They're trying different things to grasp your attention rather than sit there and say, Avengers,
Let's get back to the story, guys. Let's focus on the story.
So they're trying to throw new things out there and see if they stick, which Marvel does if no one notices in their comic book line.
Mm-hmm.
And when it doesn't, never happened. Sorry.
4 issues, you're out.
Yeah, three episodes in, 1 season, you're done.
Yep. Spider-Man goes, the Sony Spider-Mans, they go with the MCU. Oh, wait, Madam Web flopped. No, that doesn't go with us.
Yeah.
We don't count
even
that.
Dakota Fanning, the person who's in that movie, stated, I was told at the beginning we were part of the MCU because Tom Holland's Spider-Man is part of it. And then they changed the script after she signed the contract.
She's been shitting on that movie since
she's
the
been
promotional tour started.
She's like, I don't even know what the name of this movie is anymore. For
the record, Dakota Johnson. Yeah, Fanning's, well, she's an adult now, but.
You know what I meant, though. Yeah. Like, I just thought.
Yeah, the Dakota, yeah.
They're all, well, she's the main one. She's, like you said, Jamie, she's like, I was told one thing, it turned into something else.
I'll never do a movie like that again.
Yeah, the script that I read is not the movie that's made.
Yeah, she's like, I'm never going to work for Sony again.
Wow.
She's like, the only reason people are going to see it is because of what's her name? Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And she's like, hey, remember, what did she say, Tim? You were telling about Saturday Night Live that Sydney Sweeney's like, you probably see me on Euphoria and this and that, not Madam Web.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Big Marv's got a question here. Do you think Disney is ruining the MCU? I will say no.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no in the effect of Disney bought him out right around the time Iron Man came out. If I'm
not
mistaken.
Before.
Was it before?
Yeah, a little
before. Because there's that big stock whole exchange.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they bought him out a little before, but they were the ones that pushed, marketing. They were the ones that pushed the toy line again. They were the one that really pushed for it to be a core system of, we're going to have this long process of storytelling. Are you interested? And then they went, let's ride. We'll see how Iron Man 1 does, and we'll go from there.
Yeah.
And it worked. And Disney's been sitting behind there literally saying, like, yeah, how do we fix this now? Because you guys are obviously taking it in a much different direction than what we originally planned.
Well, see, from what I understand, like the reason why the early parts of Marvel all the way up to Endgame worked so well is because Feige had both hands in the creative process. And then after that, or during the course of the latter half of that, they got 4 people to kind of be spread out to do his work for him. Well, they're not Feige. They don't have his vision. They don't have his experience. And you've got 4 individuals with 4 different visions. Yeah, and concepts. And they're like, well, Feige wants this, but what about this? And then we get what we've had, which is their cluster flub years.
Well, I read something today this morning with Feige that I actually saw interesting. I don't know if it was in our chat. I don't remember, but I think it was on Facebook, but it was actually through like comic book resource, CBR, and they had an interview with Feige, and one of the runners that were showrunners that were first part of the first Thor literally said how, well, do we have to call him Mjolnir because it's kind of really hard for people to pronounce.
Yeah.
And Kevin Feige sat there. Kevin Feige's like, I sat there, I leaned back in my chair, I laughed and said, if you want every single comic book fan after you, do it.
Wow.
And he's like, I advise you not to.
Yeah. I mean, does he have or does he have to be a Norse god even? Can't he just be a guy in Central Park?
No. Good pick, Marv. Good pick, Big Marv.
Yeah, my favorite
Lord.
part where Fireman dies.
I remember us talking about that when after you got done seeing the movie in the theater. I think, didn't you say you clapped or stood up and
No,
cheered?
when Spider-Man turned to dust, I stood up in the middle of the theater and went, thank you, and started clapping. And people were crying.
You called me on the phone after that. I was dying
I
laughing.
was like, dude, I saw it. You're like, yeah, and I was like, I literally stood up and just started clapping.
Oh my god.
Oh snap!
I'll give a change of course real quick, I guess. Talk about Red Sonja's movie update. There's not really much to say about that. I mean, we all forgot it was coming out even. If they're changing it from the male perspective to a more female empowered movie, awesome, wonderful, that's great. As
I think it's
long
kind of
as
to be expected, you know.
well, yeah, as long as she cuts the shit out of people, disembowels them, chops heads off, limbs off, grabs junk and tears, I don't care. It
Right.
doesn't matter to me. I want that movie to be excessively violent. I want it to be full of cuss words. I want there to be gratuitous sexual situations, and I want it to be an hour and a half.
So none of those things are gonna happen.
I know.
Agree, Jamie. I agree, Jamie. Yeah.
That's what I want. I don't care what she wears. She can be dressed from head to toe in fur, or you can put her in the chain link bikini. I don't
Or
care.
it's gonna be
Doesn't matter.
retitled to Red Care Bear version 1,
There you go.
and you're gonna not get anything you wanted.
She's gonna be
2
like,
hours and
listen,
15 minutes, rated PG-13.
No, it's gonna
listen,
be rated G for everybody.
listen,
it's gonna
fellas.
be-
Let's just put the swords and the spears down. We'll sit around the campfire and we'll eat some vegan potatoes and drink
Have
some
pillow fights.
purified water and have pillow fights all night.
I want to see that scene though, like you said, Tim, the grabbing the genitals and ripping them off.
Yes.
Like the random panel the week last week, the grabbing the genitals and throwing out the window.
Now I get like the whole point, like Red Sonja's a major part of her storyline. Trigger warning for those that are part of domestic violence or sexual assault, right? That's a major part of who she is and the trauma that she deals with after that fact, and why she kicks so much major ass in the Marvel lines, in the IDW, in Dynamite, all that, so on and so forth. That there's a reason behind why she has the escapade that she has. From my understanding, I think they're going to take that out completely. I'm neither here nor there on
It's
that.
not,
It doesn't
Certainly
matter.
not.
if they take it out, I don't think they could take it out. I wouldn't take it out completely. I would have mentioned,
Right, and
but I
it
wouldn't
just
have like
not make it a
hashtags.
not make it a major focus.
It doesn't have to be explicit scenes of that.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
somewhere still make it that she was, like to show that she was a woman who was abused, that she, like I say, if it's women empowerment, to show that you can come back after
Yeah.
something horrible happening,
Yeah.
you could still be a very strong, courageous person. So,
But
Look at Johnson after Sony.
Exactly. But yeah, apparently it's coming out this year. It's going to be a multi-diverse cast, female empowered. Great, awesome, super cool. Cut heads off, disembowel, relieve people of their limbs, and say a lot of cuss words, and I'll be happy. I don't ask for much. Just a violent fantasy movie.
an hour and a half may be one of the most things that they're not going to be looking to do.
No, we can't do that.
That's the right there, the cutoff. They're like, hour and a half. No, it needs to at least be 2 hours, 20 minutes, 30.
Wow.
It's like the last 10 minutes of the movie is when she actually starts going nuts.
Total out of control. Finally. God.
You made me sit through all of that?
How would somebody get the energy to sit through all that?
Couldn't even have the 10 minutes into Morbius, let alone watch that.
Morbius is free on YouTube, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Just putting that out there.
Hey, maybe if people watch it, they should put it back at the theater again.
They need to do the campaign to get Madam Web back in theater.
That's what they're doing. They're re-releasing it in theater.
Are you serious?
Yes.
No way.
Yes,
I'm looking this up right
Literally, look
now.
it up, because even again, what's her name? Dakota Johnson was like, "Why are you re-releasing this? Like, there's no one that's watching it."
I know they're releasing all the Spider-Man movies.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I seen that too. But no, that was the one thing she did say. She's like, "Why would you re-release something that no one went to see?"
Wow. It only made 96 million. Can they get people who worked on Spartacus Blood and Sand? That'd be great.
Yes.
Spartacus
Spartacus in
show.
general. That whole series was great.
Yeah, it was awesome. Big Marv, yes, Madam Web did get that much hate. It had a budget of 80 million, which is incredibly small for a major motion picture, and it only profited 16 million on top of that. So its total gross is 96 million.
It is in the
marketing
dream.
probably costs that's one thing they don't put in is marketing. They probably put like 50 million to market it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
probably
They
lost
sent out like
millions.
one trailer and was like, "You're welcome."
God almighty. Jamie, I can't find a article for that right at the moment.
I'll find it. I'll send it to you.
Please do, because if that's the case, that would be hilarious. Sony, you failed again. You fell for it again.
Or have they? Maybe it will be big this time.
God. That's all I got right there.
Me too. I'm good. I'm good with the comic book news if you guys are.
Yeah.
If
I'm
you
good.
guys
Yes.
got the energy to continue on with the show, you can tell me how you guys get some energy.
That's a very good question. Jamie knows the answer to that one.
Yeah, but you can explain it because I got to put something over my face so that way it blocks me out.
That is very true. Ladies and gentlemen, head over to our sponsor for this week's episode, w.gg. Jamie's got it right there. You can see those super awesome packs. They are delicious. They are amazing. No crash, no nasty aftertaste. They're awesome. And all you got to do is type in code -X at checkout to save 10% on your order. Ladies and gentlemen, w.gg, keyword code -X.
Yes.
Give
me a second here.
You can go to a comic book shop, right?
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't one have a comic for everyone, and then the other one has an Uncle Gary?
So, yeah, the main sponsor for tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is Comic Logic. Take a peek at that right there. You guys know it. You love it. You hear Uncle Gary talk about it all the time. Here's some interesting information for you. Head over to Comic Logic right there in Ashburn, Virginia. They're Loudoun County, Virginia's only comic shop, ladies and gentlemen. And they have got some awesome events coming in the months of April and May that you don't want to miss out on. So April 20th, they have their 9th anniversary. The entire Comic Logic crew is going to be there, and you should be too. So that way you can meet all the awesome people that do Comic Logic on the daily. And Uncle Gary's going to be there as well. Also, ladies and gentlemen, May 4th is Free Comic Book Day, and it is also Star Wars Day. So May the 4th be with you. And Comic Logic is going to have the Mandalorian himself, Brendan Wayne, signing the whole day long. Also, ladies and gentlemen, May 19th, Springlock Con. Don't miss out on all the fun. Head over to Comic Logic. Right there is the address in Ashburn, Virginia. You will not be disappointed.
There we go.
And Tim, I sent that over to you, by the way.
Awesome. I'm going to look at that while Sonny talks.
Cool. Yeah, so I will be talking a bit about me. I usually don't talk about myself, guys, but today I'll do a little bit. And in our schedule, I said SK for mayor.
Yeah,
that's because I've been acting. As you know, I'm an actor, and I work on my show, Serious About Serious, and I host. But this isn't acting. This is me being me. But I do get some other roles too. So I acted not this past weekend, the weekend before. I was the lead because I'm a lead man. I played the role of a character named Philip Callahan, a man who is running for mayor in a series called Movements, Season 2, Episode 2, Constitutional Delegation. And, it's a show where each episode is different. And in that episode, I played the lead.
Ooh.
So I was working, like I said, got this going on, that going on. We were getting ready for episode 100. And then I got these lines to learn and everything. And then it's time to film. And boom, I knocked it out of the park.
Where can we see this, Sonny?
That will be on YouTube somewhere in the summer. So
nice.
When it's out, I'll let you know. Hey, look at me. I'm in a suit. Sometimes I don't. I usually wear t-shirts and I dress this is how I dress every day. But every now and then when I go to something with filming, then I get all fancy.
Nice.
But, like I said, so also I was working on that, but I do have editing to do because I was at MightyCon, and I make sure to make it a nice, pretty, and cute little video.
MightyCon?
What is it?
Was it the DuPage MightyCon?
Yes, it was.
I love that one. One of my favorite small conventions in Illinois.
Nice, yeah. So I was there, and I got a video, got some stuff. Just got to finish putting it together and then put it out there.
Nice.
Jimmy, speaking of nice little stuff, I know you've been having some things going on. I know you've been having a review. I had to check it out today. You have a special somebody joining you.
Yeah, Precious is joining me on reviews, and our first one was the Detective Comics mystery packs. Yeah, she's gonna be jumping on for reviews full on now, so it's gonna be fun. It actually was rejuvenating and felt good to actually be able to have someone next to me talking about it. Right, and don't get me wrong, love talking to you guys face to face, but having someone with that banner right
Different.
here, much different.
Yep.
And Tim wants to put the bloopers and everything, so
I love it. That's my favorite part.
I did see the bloopers, yeah. And one thing I do got to say is, I saw the review of Precious. I saw when it came to artwork 6.9
yeah,
because of 69 UFC 69 when Matt
Yeah.
Short shocked the world and beat GSP.
What?
I caught that. I caught that. UFC
I knew
69,
Sonny would
shootout.
figure it out. I told her before the episode, do this. She goes, why? And I'm like, you'll understand.
And I did. So, check out, yes, everybody check out, Jamie and Precious's review. So,
Yes.
Don't forget their unboxing of the Detective Comics packs
yeah.
too.
Yeah, that was a lot of issues.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
that was good. And then Tim, I know you've been working on some stuff. I know you've been doing a lot of editing lately. You got a video.
Yeah.
Come out soon.
So this weekend, since we're live,
jam-packed.
Yeah, we're live right now. So this Friday and Saturday, 2 videos are coming out. The
Which
first
would be
one,
if you're seeing this at any other time, would be March 15th and March 16th.
There you go. Thank you very much. The first video is going to be Wes and I doing a convention for the first time as sellers. It was the Smoky Mountain Collectible Showcase, and we got a lot of awesome footage. And I think you guys will be pleasantly surprised with the type of stuff we got. We talked to some artists, talked to some friends at Codex that were there, Zamboni Comics and Lithograph Comics. Awesome dudes. Great stuff in the videos, so look forward to that. And then the next video coming out that Saturday, which would be what, the 16th, Jamie?
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah. Wes is out in the Great Smoky Mountains right now, staying in a cabin, roughing it, and he went to some antique malls with his son Henry and got some footage of that and saw some really cool stuff. So that'll be out on the 16th for you. And then the week after that, the next weekend, it's the Uncle Gary weekend. So you've got an hour and a half of him showing off Brave and the Bold and Justice League of America. Guys, it's great stuff. Sal, Dan, and Uncle Gary are there. You won't want to miss that. It's absolutely amazing. And then the day after that, there's a nice 30-minute interview with Uncle Gary that Dan did that is incredibly informative and gives you some insight as to why Gary never stopped collecting, not for a day, not for a minute, not for a second, why he does what he does. And you get to hear some awesome history as to why he loves comic books and this wonderful medium so much.
Infinite comic knowledge from Uncle Gary.
Yes, absolutely.
Don't ever get him to stop talking. We can ask him questions and he will know.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why we love having him on the team.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Lots of stuff coming out, guys. Reviews are on the way. Even more extended long form content is coming your way that you don't even know about yet. Yeah, tons of stuff.
Yeah, so we may just have to tie you up and make you watch all that long stuff. But speaking of tying up, that brings us to a random panel of the week.
I knew there was a reason you were trying so hard for that one.
Yeah.
If he ties me up that hard, just pull my hair and we'll call it a day.
I thought you were going to say something else.
No.
Pull my hair and call me Tim.
Oh, Tim the Terrible. Well, here we go. Random panel of the week. We see Jimmy Olsen dressed like in a Superman outfit, sleeping on the couch, and Superman is behind him by it says Superman souvenirs, and he's grabbing a rope, and Superman says, "Now's my chance. I'll use this heavy rope from among my souvenirs and tie up Jimmy."
Wow. Jimmy's even dressed like him, too.
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to look for ways. I was trying to go, what comic is this from? And I was not able to find it. So if anybody finds out, let us know which comic this is from. But I found some other groups talking about it, and even someone commented they said 50 Shades of Grey Kryptonite.
That's great. Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm trying to imagine, like, why would Superman say this? Maybe I don't know if Jimmy Olsen was acting bad, if he had some red kryptonite or something, and for some reason he needed to be tied up to be stopped. I don't know.
Ladies and gentlemen, sit down and get ready for the talk. Superman and Jimmy were cosplaying, fooling around. One thing led to another, and Jimmy got tired. Superman's tying him up, and we'll let your imagination run from there.
Jamie, what's your guess?
I don't even want to touch this with a 30-foot rope at this point.
Wow, Superman does, though.
Yeah. And his Superman souvenirs.
Logically, he doesn't want him to get into trouble, so he's going to tie him down. From fan fiction, Superman is looking at certain criteria of Jimmy right now and is like, that is mine.
Jim's making the shape of the butt, you know.
Dump truck.
Yeah. Look how small his legs are. It's like that rogue, like the rogue thing with the Apocalypse. That photo is like, what happened?
The butt catastrophe.
Yeah, that's exactly what's happening right now.
My lord.
Yeah, I like the comment that Keith has. Do you want to read? Yeah.
Go ahead, Sonny, you read that.
Oh, okay. All right. Why is a shelf labeled Superman souvenirs? Does the Fortress of Solitude have a den? Yeah, I would wonder that. I wondered that too, because I'm like, it looks like a house, even though it's supposed to be like keep everything secret. Superman souvenirs.
Very much so.
Is this where they come in from skiing?
Yes. My lord.
Yeah, I guess like you said, I think I mean, Jimmy needed to be tied up for something, but yeah, and like you said, fan fiction. Yeah, there's so many wild fan fictions out there.
They want Superman to get with Jimmy so bad.
They're best friends, guys.
Yeah.
My lord.
Yeah, so there you go. Superman about to tie up Jimmy Olsen.
Oh my god.
That's pretty bad. But you know what else is bad?
F
list. Today, joining the F list is Shamrock. There she is.
The placement on it.
Sonny, you've never fit more into a character than you do right now.
Perfect. I didn't even realize the picture was like this.
Just don't move.
Okay, that's
wonderful. This is definitely the thumbnail for today's episode.
Right here.
Oh my god.
I'm good. You guys are all good.
Real fast, in 3, 2, 1, everyone make a funny face except for Sonny. 3, 2, 1. Good.
Done. That's wonderful. Moving on.
So yeah, we saw Shamrock there, and then there she is with Captain Britain, and she says, "You were the emblem of Great Britain," and he says, "And you, the Green of Ireland."
They're not friends at all.
No.
And there she is now with her long hair. Yeah. And if anybody listening, yeah, Shamrock wears green and has the shamrock on her.
I'm glad she got rid of
the mask.
The head thing. Yeah.
Which also had a shamrock on it. And there she is in regular clothes. She still has a little shamrock on her shirt. She's got a little skirt on, and oh, look at that. She's in crutches.
I wonder what happened.
Yeah. And then there she is.
I wonder what happened.
Poor Ireland.
Superhero business hasn't been good. Wait a minute. Is she a hero or a villain?
Oh, we'll get to that right after.
Okay.
You tell me. And then there she is. She's got looks like a cape on, and she's taking it off, revealing that she has hair under that mask.
Wow. Jamie, can I just leave that right there?
You can do whatever makes you happy this episode.
This makes me...
This is just perfect.
So who wants to give the story? Which one of you guys?
That's gonna be me, isn't it?
Go ahead, Jamie. It's been a
Cheers.
while.
Okay, I think I got it. What's your name? Like actual
Real name or character
real
name?
name?
Molly Fitzgerald.
Molly Fitzgerald. Got it. So Molly Fitzgerald. I'm already hating this, but I'm laughing at the same time. Loved fast food from the previous pictures that you could tell. But always went to McDonald's for the Shamrock Shake. When they finally announced that they're discontinuing it and making it seasonal, she set out on a world of vengeance to make sure everyone remembers that Shamrocks are the best type of shakes. To do this, she got into a fit training regimen, completely changed her life, and is now, I want to say, a villain or anti-hero.
An anti-hero.
And is taking down heroes and villains one serving at a time.
There we go. There we go.
It's wonderful.
Molly Fitzgerald Shamrock.
Oh my God. Is your ice cream machine down?
Yeah.
Not for
No,
long.
you are.
Oh God.
Okay.
Oh.
Are you guys ready for this?
Yes.
Shamrock. Molly Fitzgerald is 5'10". I think she's 5'10", this picture. And I think she later on lost a little bit of her height. It says weight also 135. I'm getting this from Marvel Fandom.
Yeah, but
also,
like, did you see the picture before that?
This one?
yeah. I want to say, see, I don't think she's 5'10" right there.
Yeah.
I don't think she's 5'10", 135 there. So I'm guessing they're going by the usual picture that we love to put out there.
This one.
Yeah, it mentions that she's
picture of Shamrock.
a high school graduate. All right. But I think Shamrock was created by Mark Grunwald, Bill Mantlo, Stephen Grant, whom we happen to know on the Codex Station, and John Romita Jr. Her first appearance was in Marvel Superheroes, Contest of Champions, issue number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Now, and there, if you look up on Marvel Fandom, it will say that she battled Captain America and she won. However, I have Contest of Champions. That's from Contest of Champions right there when her and Captain Britain giving each other bad looks.
This one there? Yeah.
Yeah. So it was the Grandmaster picked out his teams, and then I think they were calling it the Unknown, but it was Death. And they were picking out teams, and the whole thing was that Death had the Collector, and whoever's team won, the Collector would be set free if Grandmaster's team won. So it would be whoever gets to collect these globes. So it would be teams of 3 versus 3. So Shamrock was on a team with Storm and Collective Man against Captain America, Sasquatch, and Blitzkrieg, or something like that. Blitzkrieg. And the power of Shamrock is that she is lucky.
Wow.
Look at the
So she's Domino, but green.
She doesn't even have a 4-leaf clover. It's 3. That's unlucky.
So, yeah, you're right. There you go. But somehow she gets lucky, and it was like Captain America was fighting her, and she's running, and then the snake happened to get him, and then later Captain America was about to get the globe, but she happened to get lucky and happened to get it first. So there you go. If you look online, she did not beat Captain America in a fight. She got the globe before him.
But
how did she get those powers? Oh, that's a little bit later when she loses her luck and is on crutches.
Oh.
But Molly Fitzgerald, surprise, was born in Ireland, Dunshaughlin, Ireland, and her father was a militant Irish nationalist, and he brought her and her brother to the mountains, and he asked the heavens to give his son powers. He didn't care about her. He didn't care about whatever. She's a daughter. Give the son the powers. And the son got no powers, but Molly Fitzgerald got the powers, the lucky powers.
There you go.
And then later on, like I said,
how lucky of her.
Yes, and she was so lucky that she got to be in that Contest of Champions, which I mentioned. And then after that, she did retire a little bit, and she went to primary school, and she didn't want to be she didn't want to be a superhero anymore, but she did do a little bit of superhero work in Ireland. Even in Contest of Champions, it mentioned she was like helping people out with like a terrorist attack, and then she got pulled into Contest of Champions. And then eventually she was taken, her brother was killed in an IRA terrorist bomb blast, and her father was mad. And so the son never got the powers. So the father went to Arnim Zola, and then they they got Shamrock, and he wanted Arnim Zola to make it so that Arnim can give Shamrock's powers to her dad. And then eventually it got too much luck. It was too much power because she's so powerful that everything got messed up. She got free, and then her dad. One thing it says on here is it says unfortunately, but I'm going to say fortunately because it sounds to me like Molly's dad. Let's see. I assume her power is. Let's see. Yeah. Keith says I assume her power is writing dense but witty political theater.
Yes,
She might
very
too.
much so.
She is a multi-talented woman. She does quite a bit, so she might just do that. But yes, her deadbeat dad, pulls a gun on her. Says, okay, you're going to give me these powers. And he goes to shoot his own daughter. So that's why I say, fortunately, due to Shamrock's luck, his gun exploded and it killed her deadbeat dad.
Wow.
So then later on, she changes things around. She's still being a superhero. She dealt with brain drain. And then eventually she decided to become a hairdresser in Europe. That's the picture where she's in the crutches.
This one here?
Yep. So Shamrock lost her luck and she tripped and broke her left leg. Or left foot, excuse me. So she broke her left foot, but she did become a hairdresser. And she was a hairdresser for Meghan during Meghan's wedding with Captain Britain. And then she's become quite the known, even one of the best hairdressers in Europe. Also being the hairdresser for Shadowcat and Wolfsbane and Janet Van Dyne. Then she went off to New York City, and that's when things started changing a little bit. She opened a hair salon, and that's when she looked like she does in that not so flattering picture.
This one?
There you go. That's how she looks towards the end, and she's working on Trish Walker and Susan Storm and Felicia Hardy. And Felicia Hardy has a niece named Lou there, and the Trapster goes to mess things up. But Lou uses a blow dryer to knock him out, and then Molly Fitzgerald then uses the glue to give Lou a fancy haircut. She then later on purchased the Luck of the Irish pub, and that was used in the comic book Fearless Defenders. And so that's pretty much the story of Joe Shamrock for right now. So she's still alive. She's still doing things. She's not, like I said, her looks have changed a bit. To me, it looks like she lost a bit of her height and gained a little bit of weight. But I say Shamrock, even though she's in the F list, I think her first outfit's kind of cheap. I think her outfits aren't the best, but I don't think she's that bad.
This one is pretty good.
I think that one is good.
Reminds me of Fire.
Yeah.
I don't think she's that one. It's not the best artwork. Some of her outfits are pretty cheesy, like because she's Irish, she has the luck of the Irish. Let's just throw on a Shamrock on her because
make sure she's green.
She's from Ireland. Yeah, make sure
all shades of green.
People need to know she's from Ireland, so that's why she needs to have a green Shamrock on her.
Yeah,
I don't think she's so bad. I think Shamrock, Molly Fitzgerald, can get out of the F list.
I don't think there's a chance in green hell. That
what about on St. Patrick's Day? That's
one day a year doesn't mean she's escaping.
So one day does she escape on that one day?
Relevant?
Like I said, one day I think she can.
I'm gonna say,
Tim, what about you?
I'm gonna say that she's not even on the F list in the first place. I'm gonna say even though she is a low tier superhero, D at best, E at worst, I don't think she deserves to be put in the same room as Ruby Tuesday or Heavy Flow or the Fluffer.
I forgot Fluffing is.
I just think she's just not relevant enough to even
at all. But as
she's not a big superhero, but I don't think she's F list bad.
I think she's E list retired. That's what I think.
So now come back. All right. Yeah. Well, there you go. Well, everybody, what do you think about Shamrock Molly Fitzgerald? Do you think she's an F lister who can never get off? Do you think she doesn't deserve to ever be there? Are you going to go dressed up as her on St. Patrick's Day?
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I might see what I can do.
There you go.
One more time. Would you like to show us a picture of Shamrock before she leaves and we move on?
Enjoy that, Sonny.
There she is. All her glory.
My Lord.
Thanks, Pam. I totally agree.
Well, you lost me at hairdresser. Keith's got a good one.
Domino 1,000 times over.
I would pick Domino because remember Shamrock, she did kind of lose her somehow. No mention of how she lost her luck, but she did break her foot. So
Domino's a trained assassin too. So
actually, one thing I didn't mention Shamrock. Obviously, she has to look Irish, but she is trained in fighting, so she can throw down a bit. But like I said, it doesn't seem like with her hairdressing days now. Whereas Domino has just been staying fighting, and
I'd take Domino too.
I pick Domino. I don't think Shamrock would get lucky in a fight against Domino.
No.
And I think that wraps up the F list for this week. Not too sure. I'm working on a few. I found a few F listers for upcoming episodes. I have a special one for Uncle Gary, and I'm waiting until he's on here. All I'll say for his one is it's a crappy character.
Oh, yeah. That's going to be amazing. All right.
Gamey, you're shaking your hand. You're just happy that you're not going to be here for that one.
Yes, I am. There are times I am so excited just to watch and be a spectator.
That will be one of them. I can promise you that.
Like, I love doing the shows, but at the same time, like, I like watching, kicking back, and seeing other people just be like, why?
And when that happens, I'll just say you might want to you don't eat right after. Don't be eating as you watch it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's all I was saying about that crappy
Chocolate
character.
pudding, ladies and gentlemen. Chocolate pudding.
But speaking about people who may make you lose your appetite, I think it's time we get into the story, the jigsaw puzzle.
All right.
So everyone, here we go. Who wants the Code X on the Code X podcast with the Code X station? Sonny Kruger, Jamie Wojcik, Tim Morse. We are ready to review the Punisher jigsaw puzzle. And as usual, Tim the Terrible will start us off with the credits. And there was quite a few artists in this.
So this is a mouthful. Punisher Jigsaw Puzzle. It's Punisher Volume 2, issues 35 through 40, ladies and gentlemen. One writer, and that is Mike Barron. 3 pencilers, Bill Reinhold, Mark Texera, and Jack Slam. 3 inkers, Mark Farmer, Mark Texera, and James Sherman. 2 letterers, Ken Lopez and Chris Eliopoulos. And 5 colorists, ladies and gentlemen. Brad Venkata, Bob Budansky, Linda Lessman, James Sherman, and Sloat and Wright. So 6. There you go.
All right. Well, I will start us off and give us a bit of a run through of this Punisher tale. Starts off like a regular Punisher story. He's stopping a drug deal, and as he's going to deal with killing all these criminals, suddenly he sees one of his old enemies, Jigsaw. Jigsaw's out of prison, and Microchip is not answering. He's the one, where are you, Microchip, right? So he deals with this. He comes back. He confronts Microchip. Where were you? And Microchip was making a video game. He said, you could have warned me about Jigsaw being out of prison. Now I have to deal with them, right?
Playing with toys.
Yeah, you're playing with toys. Hey, it is a product of its time. I will say that. I'm getting onto it, but yeah. So Microchip, he does even say, well, you got to do something else, with this stupid, never-ending war that you have going on, but still agrees to help him out. And they find out with this drug through a doctor that it's not a regular drug. It's a drug to sterilize people, not just regular sterilize them, but to sterilize them for good, to kill them. And then we see that Jigsaw is now working for one of the Punisher's old enemies, the Reverend Sammy Smith. Now back in Punisher 4, Punisher dealt with the Reverend, and he is a healer. He has the power to heal, but he was a man who claimed to be a man of God, but after he was defeated by the Punisher, now here in Jigsaw Puzzle, he claimed he is a man who worships Lucifer. Lucifer gave him all of his powers. And he really doesn't respect Jigsaw. Not many people do,
No.
He really looks down. He talks down to him a lot.
Why does everybody always think I have a boss?
Yeah. Jigsaw deals with a lot of pit downs in this series called Jigsaw Puzzle. So then Jigsaw goes to spy on the Reverend and sees that he kills people. And so this is how he gets his powers. And then the police show up. Jigsaw shoots them. And he makes an escape. But as he is, him and the Punisher, they pass each other by. The Punisher turns around his van. And, Jigsaw, you're dead meat. We get on to issue 2. And the Punisher and Jigsaw have quite the fun car chase. And they crash and they end up in this gang neighborhood where it's the pegs and the cubes. And even there's just shooting all around, constant fighting, and even someone says, Punisher, get out of the car, and he even gives him that, up yours.
Yeah.
I like the laughs of this. I did like a lot of the laughs, even to one part. Like I said, to issue 2 in the story, which is actually the Punisher issue 36.
Mhm.
It's just a lot of shooting between these gangs, and the Punisher shooting and Jigsaw shooting. And one of my favorite parts, which is why this episode is called Crack Makes You Stupid, is when Jigsaw goes to get somebody's car and the guy says, take a chill pill, ugly, every man for himself. And Jigsaw says, crack makes you stupid. And shoots the guy. Right, so there we go. Like the bunch shooting and fighting all around. Jigsaw's back with the Reverend. Where we're going, the Reverend's, we're going to Venezuela because that's where they get those flowers that make the sterilizing drug. And then as the Punisher goes to this, as the Punisher, he returns back to get his stuff from Microchip, and Microchip is gone. He's not dealing with this now. He deals with some punks, and I do gotta say, like I said, product of its time when they make the punks and a lot of the characters of color, they say a Mang, MENG instead of just saying MAN. So a lot of talk like the hey Mang, you got some drugs, Mang. Punisher deals with people, right? It's no surprise. It's nothing new when Punisher's just like boom, boom. When he has a problem with somebody, he shoots them, and then he goes back to get his stuff. But Microchip has things set up, and when he's trying to get the password, he's saying, "Is it Avengers Assemble? Is it this and that?" And he even says, "F you, Microchip." And even one of the machine set is called Gunny Bear.
He was fighting a dialect that Microchip had converted onto tank treads.
Yeah, so
and that was great. Yeah.
Yeah, but he deals with it. He gets his stuff, kills more people. Like I said, this story is a big shootout. It's a big constant shooting. Punisher, Jigsaw, and other punks in the way. But the Punisher goes to Venezuela, and he meets Joy Adams. This woman he starts talking with. He sees he's being spied on. So he says, okay, I'll meet you here because she could show him the flowers. And he orders himself like a sandwich, some salsa, and
the blow dart is the best thing ever.
I love this part.
The hotter, the better.
Yeah, he takes like the little stick from the sandwich, he puts it in salsa, he gets the drink, he gets the straw, and as he walks by the guy, his glasses, says, okay, I can't get his glasses. So he gets it right, shoots it right into the guy's ear, and the salsa just made it sting that much more. So that was one part I loved. And then, so they continue on. Joy shows the Punisher some of the flowers, and who shows up? It's his old enemy, Jigsaw. They run from Jigsaw. Poor Joy falls, and she gets a scratch on her face, and she really talks about it a lot. She really goes into, oh my gosh, I'm so scarred. The Punisher even says, I'll pay for your surgery.
He's like, it's really not that bad.
Really, yeah. It's just like,
it's a little scratch. I was surprised. She was really on about it. But eventually, they're talking, they're hiding, and the Punisher, he consoles Joy, and of course, the two must have sex to make things better.
Of course.
Yeah. But then it's time to go. Jigsaw, he's working with more guys. Diego and his people are after the Punisher. Punisher, bang, some more shooting, and then Jigsaw sees that Diego, another guy who was pitting him
I'm
down.
sorry, real fast, Sonny. Every time I hear you say bang, bang, I think of Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and he's like, and then I came in, bang, bang.
I thought you were going to say bang, bang by Danger, Danger on the album Danger, Danger.
Oh, man.
I love the 80s hair metal, but we will get back to this story. But yeah, so Jigsaw, again, he's being disrespected, and now Diego's even like, you one ugly guy. And so finally Jigsaw sees that they're turning on him. Jigsaw shoots against them. He shoots against the Punisher, but now the Punisher is out. Jigsaw grabs his knife, and he takes it down, and he stabs the Punisher up. That ends issue 4, but there's still 2 more parts to read. I will stop my run through right there, but there's still a lot more. Obviously, no surprise, the Punisher is not dead, but he is pretty damaged up by Jigsaw. You could say Jigsaw has gotten his revenge. There's obviously the Punisher has to go after the Reverend. There's even a certain hellish character that appears in the last issue of the story arc. For me, the top thing with this was entertainment. I thought it was fun. Truly, if you just want a fun shoot 'em out story with the Punisher and Jigsaw, this is the story I highly recommend for you because I said it's every issue. Shoot 'em out. Punisher versus Jigsaw. There are funny parts in there, like some of the parts I mentioned earlier. And there was a few things though. So, like I said, the minority characters with the A Ming and the talk like that shows kind of a product of its time. And then the artwork, sometimes I don't mind with certain stories when they change it because I kind of get like it's a crossover. Let's say before I was reading Thor Blood and Thunder, and it was like you had issues of Thor, issues of Silver Surfer. So I'm like, okay, I could expect that. But with this story, they were all Punisher stories from Punisher Volume 2. And there was a lot of changing up in the artwork and like I said, the coloring and everything. So even at one part in issue 5, when as soon as it began, the Reverend as first image, I almost thought it was a different character. And then when I heard him talking, when he chopped his hand off, I almost thought I was like, oh wow, artwork for me that actually threw me off a little bit. It usually doesn't, but for me it did. For me, like I said, I think it's a great story, really fun. There are little bits, like a little bit of the writing, a little bit of the artwork threw me off a little bit, but overall, I think it's a great story. I do recommend it. And I, Sonny Kruger, on the Codex Podcast with the Codex Station, gave The Punisher Jigsaw Puzzle 9.2 out of 10.
Yeah, I knew it wasn't a 10 out of 10 as soon as I talked. He's got a lead in. He has a lead in.
All right, guys.
Tim, go ahead, take this one. I'll go last time.
Yeah. So, Sonny, I will agree with you. This was a fun read. There were plenty of times that I laughed out loud. That I said, "Wow," or "Oh my God." That this is 35 issues into volume 2 of the Punisher. I mean, they've got a pretty good rhythm going, and they can tell a story like this and stretch it out over the course of 6 issues. Do I think it should have been 6 issues? No. This could have been done in 3. Absolutely. There was a lot of filler. The artist changes throughout really bummed me out. If they would have stuck with Bill Reinhold or Mark Texeira, it would have been perfect. When the first issue Bill Reinhold did, and then Mark Texeira came in for 2 issues, I think. And when that transition happened, I was not upset because Bill Reinhold's artwork was great. Mark Texeira's, I love his work and him doing the Punisher. And when the Punisher went like this, I lost it. I thought it was wonderful. The coloring, ladies and gentlemen, we here at Codex are very big proprietors of letterers and colorers. They make a huge difference in the book that you read and you're looking at. And with
your inkers.
Yes. And with the constant color changing, it took me out a little bit. I was not super satisfied with that. The 3 different pencilers, that was a little much too. And Jack Slam's pencils, I didn't like it at all. And I was pushing through that issue. Mike Barron wrote a good story. It's there. This is a fast food Punisher story. It's 6 issues, could have been done in 3, stretched it out. There's laugh out loud moments. I love the dialogue with the Punisher when he's talking to Microchip and he's like, the jungle, I gotta go to the jungle, I don't want to go to the effing jungle, and Microchip's like, then just don't go, and he's like, but I have to. And when he's fighting the Dalek in the warehouse that Microchip designed to protect against intruders, which is working very well. And Punisher's like, Captain America, the Avengers, F you, Microchip. I love that. I thought that was hilarious. There were great parts in there. Bill Reinhold's artwork, going back to that, was my favorite part of the entire story. Seeing Mark Texeira was a pleasant surprise, but not my favorite as far as the artwork goes. So writing, I give a 6 out of 10. It's a story. It's solid. It's well worth one read. And I don't think you have to come back to it after that. Jigsaw, you will. Jigsaw was Jigsaw in this, and the Punisher. You get to see him in 90s format. A lot of killing, a lot of death, and it's awesome. Artwork, because of the changes, because of Jack Slam's work on that one issue that took me out. I'm putting the artwork and the color changing and the multiple inkers and all that stuff. It gets a 6 out of 10 as well. So overall, Punisher Jigsaw Puzzle for me gets a 6 out of 10.
Jamie, 10 out of 10 for you.
Yeah, buddy.
Here we go.
So 2 things that we didn't mention that I'm surprised no one mentioned. How about the flying van?
Oh my God.
That's only able to go 150 miles an hour to get flight
Yeah.
on a tank of gas to get to Venezuela.
And if you run out
Very
of gas,
realistic.
you just gotta land and put the wings away.
And then at the beginning, when he kills the gangster off the flagpole and puts on his face,
perfectly fits on. Yeah,
I was like, Brown Bomber.
Just so happens that the man and I were the same
just works.
size.
Yeah. Well, I was actually excited at first to revisit this because I have all 104 issues of the second volume.
Ooh, okay.
And I remembered this, and I was like, when I first read it, I remember it differently. But I do gotta agree with you, Tim, that it should have been maybe a 2 to 3 issue run.
Yeah.
On this. I feel like it was too convoluted. You had too many hands in a cookie jar at that point. Like it going from issue to issue is like different writer, different colorist, or a different way of going about it. And like we all know, Jigsaw is always going to be Jigsaw. Healing his face is just going to end up being Jigsaw again. There's no real surprise there.
Not counting editors, you had 14 different people work on this.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, yeah, there were some laugh out loud moments. There were some parts where you were like, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen, like flying vans and,
deadly toothpicks.
Just the rhetoric of how they portrayed minorities back then. If it's for your time, if it's from your time period or your era, awesome. Read it, enjoy it. It's fun. It's a fun book. But overall, for the whole art change and everything else, I give it a 5 because it just kept jumping. Like no one like you said, Sonny. Marvin Lemmer looked the same after a certain point, and Punisher didn't look the same at certain points. You're like reading it. I'm like, am I missing something here? Like, did they just? And that's when you learn, like, oh, it's a different creative team. Oh, it's a different creative team again. Another creative team. I give the writing a 6. Only because it was fun, but it wasn't that, to me, in volume 2, that wasn't the best story told. After reading all 104 issues. So, overall, I give it a 5.5. Which isn't bad. I still recommend it. Like it's a fun Jigsaw story, but
it's
for the whole.
I'm
looking at it from the whole core of that whole second volume. There is so much more.
Yeah,
and so much better in that. So
this was coming out every 2 weeks too.
Yes.
So Punisher was coming out twice a month at this point.
That and War Journal were both coming out.
Yeah.
Opposing weeks.
Yeah, Warzone was not too far away.
Yeah. Because there was one point where there was Punisher, War Journal, Warzone. So yeah. But for me, I liked that it was 6 because, because I've been going through volume 2, where a lot of their stories were 2 issues every now and then in one shot. I liked that it was kind of a drawn out 6 issue, like I said, shootout.
That's basically every issue they were blasting.
Yeah.
So, anyways, it started blast.
Yeah, I kicked the door in and started blasting. Boom, boom.
So that basically be a perfect way to say So for me, Tim gives Punisher Jigsaw Puzzle 6 out of 10. Jamie gives it 5.5 out of 10. I say I really enjoyed this fun, crazy, really mixed up shootout for a 9.2 out of 10. So anybody watching, feel free to let us know what you think. Are you more on their side? Are you more on my side? Do you think it's one of the worst stories you've ever read? One of the greatest stories you've ever read? Tim, I think you may have to do a decoding panels on this one, my friend.
No.
You may have to return to Jigsaw. I was like, man, the stories Tim is going to have if he
would
Jigsaw.
Sonny, as much as I would love to revisit the Punisher in decoding panels, this would wipe me out because there's like some of those issues I'd have done in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
There you go.
You're like bang bang.
Yeah.
Issues over.
Here, Jamie, here's the decoding panel stuff. Tim, 6 issues, 25 minutes. We're done.
Yeah. We're good.
Well, sounds
Wrap
great
it up.
to me.
Cut the check.
That's
Sounds
right.
great to me. But speaking of things that are great, Jamie has a story he's picking for us for our next story arc that he says is great. Jamie, what do you pick for us to review soon on the Codex podcast?
Yes, I am picking the illustrious and one of my favorite books that people on our team that I recommended to even love. I'm going to go with the first story arc, so issues 1 through 6 of World Tree by Tinian.
Perfect.
Cool. I don't know much about it, but I remember you've mentioned it, so obviously I've heard some good things about it.
I'm excited to get into
it. One of my best series read.
What company is it for?
Image.
So it is Image Store. Okay, well there you go.
There, we throw a little independent in there.
So that'll be good. I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, I always like to try different stories. And everyone, I think it's time we can wrap this thing up. This shootout of an episode comes to its end. And now I'll let my two co-hosts take care of all the business.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get some business for you out of the way, and then our illustrious leader, J-Dubs, is going to take us home. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, to head over to your favorite social media platform at the Codex Station. We've got them all. And Jamie, what do we like to do with them?
Here at the Codex Station, I'm going to do a young Gary White. Here at the Codex Station, everybody on this team has the socials, and we want to give them to you.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you take your pills because you're going to need them at the Codex Station, your favorite social media platform where we're live streaming right now. Make sure to hit the like, share, subscribe, and follow so you don't miss content like this all the time, every time. And also, when you get up in the morning, you stretch, you see the sun is shining, you need an awesome t-shirt to wear. Why don't you head over to thecodexstation.com for all your Codex needs. Get some merch, meet the team, and so much more, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, thecodexstation.com for all your Codex needs. Jamie, I pass the microphone over to you. Take us home, good sir.
Yes, thank you everyone who tuned in and watched today. Thank you for everyone that's watching as of right now, seeing this video, whether it was live or, put up on YouTube as already scheduled. Just want to say thank you again, for every share, subscriber we have out there. You guys mean the world to us. This community has been great. Yeah, there's some toxicity to every single one, but ours has been fantastic up to this point, and it takes you. And I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, just like the rest of this team, thank you. And we will see you in the next one.
And real quick, Dan Kelly said World Tree is dope.
Already showed it.
Good thing it's not crack, because remember, like Jigsaw said, crack makes you stupid.
That's going on a t-shirt. Just for Sonny.
All right. There you go, ladies and gentlemen.
Gaping holes.
Oh, yes.